If Rochester, New York is on your short list of places to relocate to, but you don't know which town to move to because you want great schools, you want affordable taxes, you want affordable homes potentially, or you want luxury homes with affordable taxes, you want proximity to the city, proximity to Lake Ontario, proximity to Finger Lakes, and everything else that is going on that Rochester has to offer, watch this video because I might just have the spot for you. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? My name is Anthony Hamilton with the American Home Team at eXp Realty in the Rochester and Finger Lakes region, and I've been helping people relocate to the Rochester area for about 7, almost 8 years now, and I haven't found a place that seems to be as popular as Henrietta is to a lot of people who are relocating. Irondequoit is a very close second, but it seems that people who are relocating want affordable taxes at the very least, but they also want great schools. They want great proximity to all the commercial grocery shopping, whether it's a chain grocery store or a mom and pop store, or they want some foreign cuisine, right? They want like the Asian market or something like that, or they want Thai food or Mediterranean. They just want unique, they want some diversity, and they want all the different things at their disposal. Literally whatever they can come up with in their mind, they want to be able to go do it. And for that reason, Henrietta keeps coming up time and time again. And that is because Henrietta is one of the most diverse areas in the Rochester region. You have Brighton, you have Irondequoit, you know, Webster a little bit. And then of course you have the city of Rochester, but outside of that, Henrietta, I think, in my opinion, is arguably one of the most diverse areas in the Rochester region. And with its proximity to the city, you have so much going on, so much shopping, so many different activities, whether it's family-friendly activities, parents' night out, or, you know, college kids, whatever it may be, you have it at your disposal in Henrietta. You have everything from affordable apartments to luxury homes, right? Or affordable tract homes, anything in between, you have it in Henrietta. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about Henrietta in this video. So I'm going to be pulling up a map, and I'm going to be pulling up niche.com and talking about exactly what Henrietta has to offer you. And maybe Henrietta can be on your short list of places to relocate to in 2025. And if so, we'd love to be the team of choice. So give that number or email on the screen a dial, and I'd be happy to help you out. So let's hop into it. All right, guys, so I'm gonna put you over onto Google Earth, and guys, wait until you see the commercial center for Henrietta. You're gonna be blown away. If you like having things to do and restaurants to go to, and there's so much going on in Henrietta that you'll never run out of things to do. Especially if you have kids, you're gonna love this place. So let me share my screen, and we'll head over here. I'm gonna type in Rush Henrietta. Actually, we'll just go Henrietta. There we are. All right. So Henrietta here, you have Rush Henrietta School District, so senior high school. So actually, let's hop into this school first. You can see Henrietta has an overall niche grade of an A, which is pretty significant. The biggest thing that I've found that is important to my clients for whatever reason is the diversity here. Diversity being an A-. It's an extremely diverse location. People just absolutely love it. They love it. There's people from all walks of life. There's every single type of food imaginable in the world is in Henrietta. There's just so much going on. If you're interested in sports, they got it. If you're interested in arts, they got it. If you're interested in career stuff, they got it, right? So it's extremely diverse, great for families. Obviously, you have an A. Cost of living is a B. That's just going to be the Rochester area as a whole, because Rochester is although it's lower than the national average as far as cost of living goes, it is rising a little bit with the national average. Everywhere else is going to rise up too, because you have to account for inflation, cost of goods, things like that, right? So outdoor activity, there's so many different parks. Veterans Memorial Park is a big one that they got. They also have the Lehigh Valley Trail system that goes throughout Henrietta, which is an amazing trail. If you like hiking and walking and things like that, you can go do that. So 46,000 people in Henrietta. That's not a small number. I think that's like the third biggest largest population in the Rochester suburbs, behind, I want to say, Greece and Irondequoit. So it's a big area, that's for sure. There's a lot of people. It's densely populated. It says sparse suburban, but certainly in some parts of Henrietta, you're going to be pretty close to a lot of people. Most people own their homes, which is pretty significant. 71% own homes in Henrietta. And so let's go back to the map here. You have Rush Henrietta schools, and we'll get into the schools because there are actually multiple schools in Henrietta. So what I want to show you guys, I want to get into all of the commercial space, because there is so much going on in there's the Marketplace Mall here. So this is kind of what we're looking at here. You have all this going on. Matter of fact, I'll just throw up the drone footage and the driving footage. You can see for yourself. But you have literally everything you could ever want. There's more restaurants than anywhere else in Rochester. There's more just grocery stores in general. There's the Marketplace Mall, which has everything that you need. Sportsman Warehouse. It has many car dealerships. If you're in the market for a car, you can go to Henrietta and you can probably find 8 different car dealerships. If you work at large manufacturing plants, there's probably one in Henrietta. If you work at defense contractors, there's probably one in Henrietta. I know there's L3 Harris in Henrietta. There's a few other aerospace engineering corporations in Henrietta. There is an Amazon right there. There's Walmarts. There's multiple Wegmans. There's Burlington. This Wegmans here, what road is this on? This Wegmans, I think this is like Marketplace Drive or something. This is not the nice one. There is a really nice one, and I'll show you, and that's on Calkins Road. And it's very nice. But you have multiple Lowe's Home Improvements. You have multiple Walmarts. And then, like I said, you do have the Altitude Trampoline Park. You do have the Lasertron. So you have so much. And then Asian Food Market here. That's actually a big draw. People from, I live in Canandaigua. I was born and raised in Canandaigua. We had a lot of people in Canandaigua. They would go and buy their food at the Asian Food Market. They were of Asian descent, and so they would go and they'd get a lot of their food there. It's a huge draw for a lot of people. One key note is that RIT is actually located in Henrietta. So if you have a kid in RIT, Henrietta may be a good place for you. But if you look here, these are all neighborhoods. Like most of these are going to be very affordable neighborhoods. And we'll see if we can go here without getting too dizzy. Most of these are going to be on the affordable side. They're going to be, anywhere from 150 to 350,000, and then you do have some in the middle range, 400 to probably 600,000. And you do have some $1 million homes, maybe a couple $1 million homes. So you have everything from super affordable rental properties, all the way up to luxury properties with acreage, and you're talking 2, maybe close to $3 million properties. So, you know, like I said in the beginning of this video, I've been selling in the Rochester market for almost 8 years now. And Henrietta has come highly, highly, highly requested by so many of my clients, especially those of you who are relocating from other states and you're looking for a place similar to where you're coming from. A lot of you guys seem to be coming from you know, a little bit more urban type areas, maybe Austin, Texas, or Houston, Texas, or San Diego, Miami, places like that that are a little bit more urban, but you're looking for a little bit more space with all the amenities of kind of like a city living in a sense. And so Henrietta is going to be one of those places. You have about a 10 to 15 minute drive to the city of Rochester. If for whatever reason you can't find what you're looking for in Henrietta, which I'd be amazed if you couldn't, you can go to the city of Rochester and probably find it there. Or you also have a 15-minute drive to the Finger Lakes region, Canandaigua. Or if you want to go to Eastview Mall in Victor, it's also a 10-minute drive from Henrietta, depending on where you are. So Henrietta is a great mix of like, things are spread out, but also you can get urbanized. Like you have the commercial space, you have all the shopping, you have the malls, you have the plazas and things like that, but you can get some space, you can get some acreage, and especially if you're in the Rush area. So you have Henrietta and then you have Rush Henrietta. They're both going to be Rush Henrietta school districts, but Rush is definitely a lot more green. You have a lot more green space in Rush. And I do believe this is the really nice Wegmans here. Let's see. Maybe not. Yeah, actually, yep. So this is the really nice one. I don't have a mouse, so I can't. So you can see here. And one thing that is also really cool about Henrietta is you do have the Dome Arena. Now, the Dome Arena is significant because it's pretty much a convention center. I've been to a tattoo expo there. I actually got a tattoo from the tattoo expo where they have some of the best artists from all over the world come and they set up in the Dome Arena, and you know, you can go and get tattoos or just watch or, you know, do whatever, participate in their things. The Rock Dome pickleball club, obviously reptile events. They have I remember growing up, we used to do the Vans Warped Tour, and the Vans Warped Tour, it was a bunch of concerts and stuff, and they would set up in the parking lots around here, and you could go like stage to stage, and you could, you know, listen to the different bands play, and they were big time bands too, so they would play out here, and then there would be some stuff going on inside as well. They host ski and snowboard sales inside here, so a lot of the reps from some of the biggest, the largest ski and snowboard brands will set up in the Dome Arena, and you go and you walk and you can find whatever. So really cool stuff over in the Dome Arena. And it looks obviously like it's a vacant kind of parking lot and whatnot, but they have a lot of things that go on here. It's really, really cool. And like I said, this Wegmans is a super nice Wegmans there. But this is Calkins Road. In Calkins Road, if you go up, you will find the public library right here. Public library. You also have the Henrietta Recreation Center. And then down here you do have the town of Henrietta. And you know, people can actually go get married there. We actually did a video and a photo shoot for a wedding that was here. They did it in the lawn, and things kind of were made to look nice. But I mentioned Veterans Memorial Park, that's this right here, and they've got some pavilions you can rent out for, you know, barbecues or cookouts or whatever. They do have a cabin that you can rent out as well if you want to host a birthday party, or you know, a New Year's party, or you know, whatever it is. You can rent that out, and it's through the town of Henrietta, so you go and you pay a deposit, $25 or something like that, and You can reserve it for 6 hours or 12 hours or whatever. They do have a football field here. They have a couple baseball diamonds. They have like shot put fields. I don't know what you call in the track and field world, but shot put little circle things. They've got some nice playgrounds, and I do have some footage. I will put that up. They have pickleball courts, so they do have a lot of different things. And I mentioned the Lehigh Valley Trail. This is part of it here. It does go around, and it kind of, I think it goes up here. I'm not sure where it goes to or where it ends up, but it's long, and you can run, you can walk, you can hike, you can do whatever you want to do on that trail, and it goes for miles. So really cool stuff. But let's go back to niche.com and crime and safety. So this is the one thing that I don't it's not that I don't believe this, right? Because this is showing virtually no crime. Henrietta, because the population is so large, I think that there's more crime in Henrietta than what this is portraying. And that's just me being honest. I don't know for a fact, but I do think that there's a little bit more. Even if that's just property crime, a vehicle theft or something like that. Like, I don't know that it's virtually untrackable like this. You know what I mean? So I would bet that it's going to be like any other town with 46,000 people. I think that there's going to be some kind of like shithead kids maybe going around, or just some turd type people that commit crime. Like I don't think it's bad by any means, but I do think it's more than what they're representing here. So just keep that in mind. I had mentioned diversity. You do have a majority of people with some college or an associate's degree, 7% bachelor's and 9% master's or higher. What we find actually is that there are a lot of doctors who live in Henrietta, as well as young professionals. And I think it's because it makes sense. The taxes are a lot cheaper because of all the industry in Henrietta, that people who are making a lot of money, they want to try and keep a little bit more of their money, and they don't want to dish it out onto all their property taxes, like some of these other areas where they're spending all the money they earn on either taxes somewhere, the IRS, right, or property taxes, or what have you. So just something to consider if you're moving to a place, is the taxes, especially in New York. I've recently talked to a few people where in their areas they have flat tax rates. Here it depends on what schools you go to, depends on the local municipality, and then your county. So there's a few different things that weigh into the taxes, and that's what makes it up. And so you may qualify. I think if you earn less than $500,000 as a household income, you do qualify for a STAR program, which is the school tax relief program. And you apply for that after you close on the home, and we have resources will help guide you through it. The attorneys will help guide you through it as well. But it saves you maybe a couple $100 a year on your school taxes. So it's something to help out. But and you can get that no matter what town that you're in. But Henrietta, being that it has some of the cheaper taxes in Monroe County especially, and then Ontario County would be Farmington, you're already affording a little bit more house if you're looking to buy a home in Henrietta. Median household income is $80,832. National average $75,000. So you're looking slightly more than the national average, pretty significant. Let's see. Places to work in Henrietta, you got there's so many different things. One thing that I'm not seeing on here is L3 Harris. So L3 Harris is a defense contractor. They make radios and satellites and things like that. I used to work there a long time ago, and it's a cool place to work. You know, you do need a security clearance. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. It's not like top secret, but you do need to be able to get a security clearance. But it's a cool place to work, and it's got a decent mission. If you care about what your company is doing or producing, well, they're making radios and satellites for the military and NASA and things like that. So L3 Harris is a good place, and that's right in Henrietta. They employ thousands of people, so you can go work there. Especially if you're into engineering, man, they're killing for great engineers at L3 Harris right now. So keep that in mind. If we go back here, so top schools serving Henrietta. This is going to be weird because there are, depending on where you are in Henrietta, you might go to Pittsford schools, you might go to Rush Henrietta schools, you might go to maybe Brighton schools. So there's a lot that you can go to. You won't be going to Fairport schools. So I don't know why that's in here. Niche.com, not 100% accurate, right? But you could go to Pittsford Central Schools, whether I think that's either Pittsford Mendon or Pittsford Sutherland, one of the two, but you could be going there depending on where your house is in Henrietta. So you might get taxed on Henrietta Township, but Pittsford Schools, which would then make it a little bit higher because Pittsford's a little bit more expensive. You might actually, I'd have to confirm this, but you might actually, depending on where your house is in Henrietta, you might go to Honeoye Falls, Lima, or maybe you could go to Scottsville as well. So there's a bunch of different, and then of course, I mentioned Brighton. There's a bunch of different schools that you can go to if you're in Henrietta, but a majority of the residents in Henrietta, in the Rush Henrietta area, are going to go to Rush Henrietta Central Schools. So this is the Rush Henrietta Central School District page. These are all the different schools that Rush Henrietta has. These schools are serving potentially 46,000, residents. So, some of these elementary schools, it looks like 6 elementary schools. You're talking 2 high schools and 1 junior high. So, I mean, you've got a lot of different options there. And what I will say is that their sports are phenomenal. Their arts are phenomenal. Any extracurricular, any type of program that your kids could be in is just phenomenal. You're looking at the DECA students. So DECA, I'm not quite sure exactly what that is. Extracurricular club focused on building future leaders in areas of marketing, management, and entrepreneurship. Cool. So I'm all about that. They've got all these different programs here. So you see all these kids, they're in the DECA program. They have all the happenings going on. They have staff directory, all the things a school page should have. But Rush Henrietta, although when I was going through school, I graduated in 2012, so pre-2012, Rush Henrietta wasn't really the school you wanted to go to. And I don't remember what the reasoning was. I just know that when I was going through school, just like Geneva was, or like these weren't schools that you really loved or kids wanted to go to. I know a lot of kids transferred out of Rush Henrietta to try and go to other schools for more opportunity because they weren't getting it there. But I don't know if they've received grants or anything like that, but Rush Henrietta has really, really upped the ante, and they have become one of the premier schools in the Rochester area. I think they're number 2. So if we go in here and we find districts in the Rochester area. All right, so if we go into 2025 best school districts in the Rochester area, keep in mind, obviously we're on the first day of 2025, so I don't know exactly how it ranks it for 2025, but got Pittsford, Brighton, Penfield, Fairport, HFL, Irondequoit, Victor. Rush Henrietta comes in at number 8. That's solid. That's pretty good. Calmum, Webster, Hilton, Canandaigua is number 12. Leroy. So, you know, what I tell a lot of people who are moving here from many other states, and you know, I can't speak to the state that you're in, but I can speak to just New York as a whole, Rochester as a whole. A majority of the schools in Rochester, I always tell people that the scale is skewed a little bit, being that if you're reading that a school in the Rochester area is rated or ranked a C, you can probably guarantee that that school would be an A in your area, whatever area you're coming from. And that's not saying that the area you're coming from is crummy. It probably isn't. But the school systems here in the Rochester area are so good that even a C-ranked school is going to be better than most schools throughout the United States. Most of the average schools throughout the United States. And it's just how it is. Like, the one thing I am proud of in New York, trust me, I've got many complaints about living in New York, many complaints. But the one thing that I am proud of in New York, specifically the Rochester and Finger Lakes region, is the quality of the school districts. And so while I'm not a public school fan, the schools here are outstanding, and you know, I'd recommend them to just about anybody who wants to send their kid to a public school. But then if you don't want to send your kid to a public school, you have plenty of other options. You have the Harley School around here. You've got a ton of different options in different Montessori schools and you know, all sorts of different things. So best private schools, if we go into that, the Harley School, you have Allendale, McQuaid is outstanding. A bunch of professional athletes come out of McQuaid. A bunch of top business executives come out of McQuaid. Bishop Kearney, same thing. It's an amazing school. Our Lady Mercy. My cousin went to Mercy for a while, and it's a great private school. Aquinas, great private school. So you have all these different options in and around Henrietta. But I think the biggest thing about Henrietta, in my opinion, the biggest thing that attracts clients, buyers, relocators, I should say, to Henrietta is the diversity, the affordability, and the options of luxury living, all without having to travel too far for your groceries and for, you know, all the happenings, all the things that you want to do, the New Year's Eve events, or you know, concerts at a local bar or tavern or something like that. You have the distillery, you have Tully's, and honestly, Tully's has the best chicken fingers, hands down, in the area. Just throwing that out there. Ask anybody. For some reason, it's like the breading on the chicken tender is just, it's phenomenal. I will get them every single time I go to Tully's. That's how good they are. And I understand chicken tenders are like considered like a kid's food or whatever, but they are phenomenal. With the honey mustard or the barbecue, it's just, it's great. So that being said, there's so much going on in Henrietta, and the taxes and affordability with the mix of luxury and the diversity and the top 10 school district, as well as the parks and mix of green space and kind of urbanized feel. You have neighborhoods, you have standalone homes that are outside of neighborhoods, they have acreage. You have literally everything in Henrietta. And the one thing I haven't talked about yet really is the real estate market, what the market's doing in Henrietta. That, I would say, is the one caveat to how good Henrietta is. Because of all these things, Henrietta is extremely competitive. People want to go there. That's a good thing. That's a great thing in my opinion. However, it does make buying a home a little bit more tough. if you're in the upper echelon of affordability, right? So if you're, I'd say 500 and above, 500,000 and above in Henrietta, you're probably not going to have much of an issue buying a home as far as competition goes. If you're below that, if you're like 400 and below, you're going to have a competitive scenario. So you're probably going to be facing 3 to 10 competing offers. So it might take you, you know, potentially up to 7 different homes that you offer on before you actually secure one, before you actually win one. So that's something, just to set your expectations straight, like that's one thing that you should factor in. And that's not to say don't move to Henrietta just because of that. That's just saying, hey, give yourself a little bit more time. You know, if you're in those price ranges under 400,000, give yourself a little bit more time to be able to, you know, find a home and not be forced out of your current living situation. Because it might take a couple months before you find a house. That's just reality. But that's not just you, that's kind of everywhere in the Rochester area. So just be expecting that. But again, if you are over that like 450, 500 range, you can probably find something pretty quickly. It might take you maybe 2 offers, 3 offers, but it's not going to take you 10. So you're in a little bit better of a position. But regardless of which camp you're part of, the things that you can do to kind of help your scenario is we can get a pre-inspection done. We can get an inspection during a walkthrough done, so therefore you don't have to be contingent on that inspection because it's already been done. You can make the decision whether to offer or not to offer based on how that walkthrough inspection goes. That's one thing that we offer to our clients that has been very useful. You can also, the more money you have in the bank as far as down payment and earnest money deposit, then the better your offer is going to look. Additionally, we do have programs here that are they're essentially looking like gold to sellers and listing agents, and those are the cash guarantee programs. There are many lenders that offer them, but you know, in each lender has its own criteria for those programs, the cash guarantee programs. But those are looking like gold, like over cash. And so if you present one of those with a good earnest money deposit and a good chunk of money down, then you should have no problem buying a house in Henrietta, or anywhere in the Rochester area for that matter. So if it's not Henrietta, but it's Pittsford or it's Penfield or it's Fairport or it's Canandaigua or Irondequoit, you should have no problem. As long as you follow that advice right there, you should be golden. But either way, be sure you reach out to the information on the bottom of your screen, because I'm the guy that answers texts, emails, and phone calls. I'd love to have an in-depth conversation with you, more than what this 30-minute video can cover. I'd love to talk to you about it. Any questions that you have, I love answering them. And be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. If you got any value from this at all, be sure to share the video, like it, do all the things. I'd appreciate that. It helps us reach more people just like yourself who are relocating to the Rochester area. And until the next video, guys, bye-bye.